Australia, USA, Australia, and back to the USA again for tonight's race in the BOSRA Synology GT3 Championship. At Bathurst, we saw Iru Nom not take victory for the first time this year after a dominant first two rounds, with Craig Parks taking the checkered flag on the mountain. This time, we head to Road America, host of premium series like IndyCar, IMSA, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Tonight, though, GT3s. Join myself, Connie Maddock, and Paul Smith for the green flag after these short messages. Hello there everyone and welcome to the 2017 Synology GT3 Championship, brought to you on RaceSpotTV by TMS Motorsport. TMS Motorsport offers a comprehensive range of tuning parts for all makes and models, with competitive pricing, worldwide delivery and great customer service. Visit them today at tmsmotorsport.co.uk. Well, qualifying is pretty much done at the moment, Paul, but before that we have to go over some slight bits of news that we have about the series. Bram Reynolds replaces David Catling due to a broken ankle, so both of those drivers are privateers, so everyone here at RaceSpotTV wishes David a speedy recovery and hope he can get back to racing soon. But looking at qualifying right now, provisional pole, Iru Nom, he faltered at Bathurst, but he's back where we expect him to be.
Yeah, it's almost ominous that he's back on form, and he's actually over 0.7 of a second faster than Scott Brazier as well. So really strong performance from Iru as we're headed into this round 4 of the championship, and well, it's going to be plenty of great racing here. Road America always provides us with good thrills and spills as we go through the long straights, and also the tight corners as well. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yep, plenty of overtaking opportunities and plenty of variety around this track that is Road America. Let's just see if any drivers are currently on laps. Daniel Bailey is coming to complete his 4th lap, which is his final timed lap. Right here, he does not improve on that particular time, and I think most of your drivers are currently done with the qualifying laps right now, Paul.
Yeah, certainly are, and well, I'm just having a look at our championship standing so far after 3 rounds. It is Iru Nom who leads this one by 9 points ahead of Baird, and then that's Barry Baird, of course, and then in 3rd place, well, it is Simon Underhill. And well, he's only 1 point behind Baird, so those two really going pretty close together. And well, two drivers tied in 4th place is the other Baird and Ringwood as well. So plenty of close drivers at the front of that championship. Nobody really making a breakaway for it at the moment, but well, as we were saying earlier, Iru Nom doing a fantastic job, and looking at the team's championship as well, the Synology team are currently heading that one 9 points ahead of Bodine Solutions, with Replace Base in 3rd place.
Yes, indeed they are, and Scott Breezy currently has the provisional second place right here. He's, of course, Ironom's teammate, so it's an all Bushfink front row here, even though they aren't an actual team under the regulations, because they're both privateers. But that's the end of qualifying. Here is your grid. It is Ironom yet again taking pole position here in qualifying with a 2:04.9, leagues ahead of pretty much everyone else. Scott Brazier, his Ford GT and Bushfink teammates, lines up right beside him in second. Craig Parks will be third. Benjamin Hackerson lines up in fourth. Craig A. Williams fifth. Tony Bed sixth. Phil Rose seventh. Gareth Misham in eighth. Jason Dilworth lines up in 9th place, Barry Baird 10th, GPW Ringwood in 11th, Daniel Page 12th. Then it follows Dion Phillips, Simon Underhill, Paul Wormsley, Adam Atherton, Bart Daleman, Adam Shipstone, Philip Gregory, Lee Bunker finishes up your top 20 places. And then you've got such drivers such as Ben Warren, Martin Glenke, John Cook, Bram Rainiers coming in for his first race, of course, replacing David Cackling. The likes of Ben Coombs, Paul S. Martin, all down the field right there. We have a grid of currently 52 GT3 cars that are going to take this green flagpole. It's going to be a little bit of carnage on the first lap.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guys right at the back of the grid. They're at the bottom of the hill going up from the final turn here at Road America. 4-mile course, 14 turns. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And, well, you just do not know how these drivers are going to go as we're ready for the start.
Yes, we are. In just a couple of seconds, the green flag will fly, and it does fly here at Road America. The front row gets away well. Scott Brazier having a good start, but look at that storming start there from Craig Williams. He's going to get a little bit of a roadblock behind Scott Brazier as your leaders go 2 by 2 coming down into the first corner. There goes Craig A. Williams. His that run has been stalled, and there's a battle behind him between the past series champion Benjamin Haxon in that 001 car. Just battling with Gareth Mesham. Mesham will have to go down the inside of turn 3 here at Road America, battling behind as well. Phil Rose and Tony Baird, they're having a battle as well as they come down. It's very long back straight right here through turn 4, which is only a little bit of a kink in the road, and we have a big incident right behind these guys.
Yeah, big incident. There's also a big incident in turn 1 as well with drivers all over the place. But yeah, as you say, massive incident down the back straight. The road's blocked. It's unbelievable. Drivers are just having to pick their way through here. And well, we've seen this happen in other series before. And well, unfortunately, it's happened again.
Yeah, I believe that was the catalyst for all that was Jason Dilworth, I believe. He got it all sorts of loose coming out of turn 3, spanned back right into the middle of the track, collecting a couple of drivers, and it was carnage from then on forward. I didn't see what went on coming down into turn 1, but that was a massive incident on the back straight.
Yeah, it's a very narrow track, let's not forget this. It's an old school track, so there's not the huge amount of space for drivers to go 2, maybe 3 wide, and well, that is, it's just absolutely crazy how that happens, and you're picking up so much speed, and if you're stuck right up behind the car in front of you, you don't see the incident, and you just go straight into a wall of cars.
No, you don't at all, as we have a look at a little bit of a replay of that incident, and yeah, that is just one thing led to another as cars went flying pretty much everywhere. I'm surprised we didn't see some sort of safety car that some series do in those sorts of situations, but we will stay green flag racing here. Ironom still currently leading. He's already pulled out a major gap of around 1.5 seconds over his teammate Scott Brazier. Craig Park's not too far behind though. And there's also the driver of Craig A. Williams. He's not too far off either. So last couple of places on your podium, they're already starting to scrap over them.
Yeah, and Simon Underhill, of course, one of the people who are involved in the is involved in the top 3 of the championship. He's in the pits at the moment, so he's got some damage. There's quite a few drivers on pit road at the moment. I'm counting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars so far on pit road. I expect to see a few more as well very shortly. But yeah, Ironom doing a fantastic job. He's doing what he needs to do. 1.4 seconds ahead already.
Yes, he is, and this is the pace that we've pretty much come to expect for Ironom. He did this first 2 rounds of the championship Not so much at Bathurst. He did confess at the end of the second round that he didn't really like Bathurst, and he didn't really get on with it, well with it, and that just showed when he had an early race spin, as we have, I believe, an incident. That is Martin Galenki. That AMG Mercedes has seen better days right there, and I think that's a single car incident just coming into turn 6, I believe. Yep, he just got it into a power slider and hit the concrete wall on the inside.
Yeah, he's got on the power a little bit too early there, and early on in the race, the tyres still won't be fully up to temperature, so you're not going to be getting the full amount of grip that you would expect out of the car. And yeah, around it goes. It's so easily done there. It's a corner that, just tempts you to get on the power early, and well, around it goes. He's got a blown engine as well, so he's going to have to go to the pit lane.
Yes, of course your drivers do actually have one single fast repair in this series, so they can just pull it down pit road, get it instantly repaired, and then go back out and try for a recovery drive. Battle though between the number 38 of Ben Warren and John Cook in that number 52 Mercedes right there.
Oh, car going off behind. Who was that going off behind? It's got Bram Reyners.
Yeah, that was Bram Reyners. Oh, that's the absolutely horrible first race for Bram Reyners then. He came in to replace a driver that had a broken ankle, and he just completely lost it. Coming through the final sector of lap here at Road America, hard into the concrete wall right there across the gravel. Gravel didn't do much to slow him up there.
No, it certainly didn't, and it's a really tough corner again, is that one. So he's going to come back onto pit road now, and well, these drivers, they're struggling with this track so far. Of course, that was at Bill Mitchell Bend, and again, it's another one of those corners. It looks simple, but it's a really tricky one, and as we've seen there, he goes round into the wall as another car on pit road. That's Bart Dahlman as well.
Yeah, battle between the 42 of Craig Williams and Gareth Mesham in the 30. Mesham just hung out to dry during turn 5 right there, coming up into turn 6, the uphill braking zone, which is pretty difficult. You don't see the corner until pretty much last minute. Gareth Mason currently trying to get on the back of his man right there, and Craig Williams. There was some battling ahead as well between Benjamin Hackison, as Benjamin Hackison goes down the inside. I think both drivers made a mistake there. That was Jan Miltova in the number 21 BMW, the Acorn Printing BMW. He just went wide into the gravel during turn 7, I believe, right there, and Benjamin Hackson also was a little bit too late on the brakes. He pushed wide as well, but he made a better job of it, basically.
Yeah, well, actually, it's down into turn 8, is that. He was flashing his headlights, and do you know what? I think that was a back marker as well. Somebody who's obviously been in the pits there and got involved in incidents earlier on. So Hackison was having to hurry him up, get him out of the way. He's in 4th place at the moment. Very bad, and JPW Ringwood as well, changing positions. So those two battling away over 8th and 9th place as well.
Yes, indeed they were, and there's a little bit of a train right here from Benjamin Hackson in 4th place right here as he just comes across the line. That timing will update. There's Craig A. Williams, Gareth Mesham, Tony Baird, and Barry Baird's just on the tail end of this train. He risks losing the draft of this train, but just saw Craig Williams just duck out the draft a little bit there on that Synology AMG Mercedes of Benjamin Hackison. So he's just trying to play a little bit of mind games. Oh no, Gareth Mesham off.
Yeah, Gareth Mesham, he's got a lost control through turn 1. It looked like he did that all on his own there. And yeah, he's just carried a little bit too much speed through there in that Audi R8, and around he goes. He just keeps it out the wall, so he'll be able to get back going again, but he's down to 20th place now.
Yes, he is, and that's just yet another single car incident, yet another case of just the back end breaking away from your drivers right here. I'm just going to have a little bit of a look at the weather, so that may be playing a factor. Track temperature is quite high, it's 107 Fahrenheit as we look at the battle for P4. I believe that was between Benjamin Hackison and actually that's further up the field. That was between Craig Williams and Benjamin Hackison, yes. Phil Rose is just having some issues right now, I believe. I'm not entirely sure what has happened to this particular driver. I think technical issues he's suffering from right now. But Tony Baird and Dion Phillips right there, they were just having a little bit of a battle. Tony Baird just getting through relatively easy just before the carousel.
Yeah, Hackison lost that 4th place you were mentioning there to Craig Williams, and it was down the straight down towards turn 5, just that slipstream going down the inside goes Craig Williams, and well, Craig is now ahead of Haxton. He's just pulling away slightly as well, and the cars behind, they're all managed to sort themselves into single file as well. So everybody, it's the early stages of the race. There's still 52 minutes to go. It's so easy to make a mistake this early on in the race, and it just ruins your race. You've got to make sure you keep calm. Don't let the pressure get to you. Don't try and hurry a move, because if you hurry a move and end up damaging the car, that's pretty much your chances of a good finish done.
Yeah, very wise words there, Paul, as we complete lap 4. Going on to lap 5, Aeronom still in the lead. That gap is around about a second, so Scott Brazier is closing in bit by bit on his teammate. I noticed that they're dealing with a couple of bits of traffic. That's Paul S. Martin. That's a lap down right there, trying to recover from a bad early race. That, and pretty much a large amount of your drivers have had with that huge incident. Coming down the back straight on lap 1, there's Gareth Mesham, number 30. He has had a pretty dismal first part of the race, but he's making his way back through the field. He just got past that number 40 of Mike Mason right there, and this is an important thing, Paul. A lot of your drivers now basically on recovery drives, and they're going to be a lap down. Your likely lap traffic is going to come through on them. We've had this before in this series, as we see Gareth Masham just try and make a pass on Ryan D. Walker right here, coming down into turn 5 right there as he goes down the inside. Oh, that was very close right there, but he's going to have that pass complete. But traffic is going to be relatively important in this series. There are a lot of cars on track now, a lot of cars a lap down, and that can cause trouble for your leaders.
It certainly can. I've just counted now 14 cars that have been in the pits already in this race in the first 10 minutes, so a lot of incidents going on earlier on as Masham now trying to make it down the inside into turn 8. He'll get that job done, and he'll want to get the line now for the carousel. His sights are next set on Adam Atherton, so he's, as we say, having this recovery drive. But yeah, 14 cars have been in that pit lane already, and well, a few of them have really been struggling so far today. Recovery drives, you're going to see that mix of drivers who maybe haven't got the out-and-out pace of some of the drivers who have been affected by these incidents, being able to fight it out, being able to block positions, being able to hold on to positions. As Masham now looking to try and actually get past a back marker here, and well, through he goes at Canada corner. But it's tough. It's a different thing to make your way through a field as Taylor Lane comes into pit road now with the front end missing. We've got another car as well, Ryan Atmore in pit lane as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see what has happened to Taylor Lane right there.
Oh,
there
that's a big
another
one.
Incident. Take us through it, Paul.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at that, and we had a big incident there going down the back straightaway, and it was Lane who went into the wall at the edge of the kink, and oh, it was well, it was head on, and well, there's very little that Ryan Atmore could do about that one. He just came around the kink, and the car was just sat there in the middle of the road.
Yeah, Taylor Lane having a bit of trouble coming out of the carousel. Just put him onto the grass. Lee Bunker did very well to get around him, but when it came to the kink, he just got it all completely wrong. And oh boy, that's quite an unfortunate incident right there for the car right behind. That was Ryan Atmore. He basically goes into orbit right there. I'm not entirely sure when he's going to come down from that one, but let's hope he does.
Tony Betard has just made up a position now on, I think that's Adam Shipstone. Yes, it is. He made the position up on. He's looking to the outside now of the car in front, and I believe that's Dion Phillips who's in 8th place at the moment. So these guys battling it out. 3-car train here for 8th place, and they're really tightly packed here, and good racing from these guys so far. Well, the rest of the field, this is really the closest battle on the field, because there are a few cars involved in single battles, but not really involved in this one, as there's a car behind that has no bonnet, but we'll carry on anyway. We'll find out what happened there a little bit later. But yeah, these guys, they're all battling out through Canada corner, heading up towards that famous corner of Bill Mitchell Bend. I say, it's a tricky corner, it's a blind apex. The car goes light over the top of there, and then you're into the braking zone for turn 14, and then it's important to get the run out of that. Use as much of the curbing on the left there to get the run all the way up the hill.
Yeah, the 3-car battle for 7th place in your race right now. Fastest lap last time by, that was the fastest lap of the race. That was by the number 50 of Scott Brazier in his pursuit to try and catch his teammate in Irunom. That gap is down to around about half a second on the relative timing, so he is definitely catching. But this battle for 7th place, this is all going to heat up right now as Dion Phillips very deep on the brakes, coming down through turn 3. Important to get a good run out of turn 3. That will absolutely benefit you. Coming all the way down this straight through the slight right-hander of turn 4. Coming down into the braking zone of turn 5. Dion Phillips looks towards the outside. He will try and make a move on the outside on the brakes right there. He'll have to hang it around there. If he can keep it there, he may have a chance, but no. JP Wingwood ahead, and now Tony Baird, is trying to capitalize on Dion Phillips running a compromised line, and Dion Phillips loses a position instead of gains one.
Yeah, Ringwood did a very good job of just squeezing. He assisted Phillips wide then, and that's caused him to lose the position there. He lost the momentum going up the hill towards turn 6, and Tony Baird says, thank you very much, I'll take that spot. And, well, Baird now up into 8th place, and he's the one now putting the pressure on JP Ringwood.
Yes, he is, as just a little bit of position changes down the field right here. This is the battle but for 20th place, Simon Jackson, Alan McCain as well, having a little bit of a battle. There's a battle behind them, actually. That's Taylor Lane just pulling off to the side of the track. What has happened there is he got a slowdown penalty. I have to check, but that is very slow coming down through turn 9, 8 or 9.
He's just getting out the way of people. He's a lap down.
Yeah.
I tell you what, with a field this big, you don't know where you're looking. It's brilliant racing as this, and well, these guys, they're all duking it out for this race. Of course, an hour-long race. We're only a quarter of the way through. 45 minutes of this race left to go yet. And, well, these drivers, they're treating it like a sprint race. It's fantastic.
It is absolutely fantastic, and in terms of GT3 races, it really is a sprint race. Tony Baird and JPW Ringwood, they had a bit of door banging coming down into turn 1 on the pit straight right there. That was absolutely fantastic. Tony Baird managing to get that position complete. I think we can get a replay of that one. He had a little bit of banging doors, not once but twice, but 3 times coming down the pit straight. Fantastic racing here, Paul.
But forget this being GT3s, that's touring car action right there. A banging door mirrors, there's a bit of swapping of paint as well. Almost Tony Baird lost the rear end then through that final contact, but still he's got the position. He's up into that 7th place, and Baird now is looking forward to Barry, who's in 6th place. 4 seconds between the two of them though, so Tony's got to get his head down here.
Yeah, Barry Baird and Tony Baird are, of course, twin brothers, as we found out a couple of races ago. We weren't exactly sure for the first race, but it's good to get clarification on that sort of thing as we look a couple of cars down the field. Battle between for 17th between Royal Huben and Mike Mason. There's a battle that is going on right now as they come through the middle sector of the lap right here, as Phil Rose again is still currently having issues. I believe these are technical, but we'll just carry on just commenting on this fight right now. Mike Mason, he's trying every single line possible, but he can't really find the gap right now as he closes up during the carousel. That is one of the corners where he can actually make different lines work through that.
Yeah, he certainly can. You don't want to go take that wider line too late in the race though, because the marbles really do build up around the outside of that corner, so it becomes a one-track line through there. But heading down towards Canada, you can use the slipstream of the car in front, try to get right up behind, but Mike Mason in that Grip TV car just can't quite make it past so far. He's in the Audi. You would expect that to have just a slightly better top speed compared to the Mercedes, but that Mercedes, it's a very strong car. It's by far the pick of the field for most of the drivers, but Mason now looking to get the good run at that final corner, carry the speed going up this steep hill. It's really steep as this, and he's got the slipstream. He's looking to the inside now, heading towards turn 1 they go, and discovering Mike Mason, who will just make it up ahead of Roel Huben, or will he? Down onto the brakes, it's going to be last of the late breakers, and Mason just manages to squeeze his way through.
Yeah, finally makes his way through, does Mike Mason down into turn 1. But where does Roel Huben have anything to reply to that with. He pretty much has the straight line speed advantage by default in that AMG Mercedes, but it looks like that Audi of Mike Mason is getting a much better run off the corners pretty much every single time right here. Rollhaven will close that gap again, but I think this battle is pretty much done for now. The race lead, though, that is looking exciting because Scott Brazier has been catching these past couple laps. He caught up about 0.2 of a second last lap, and now his teammate Iro Nom is in sight.
Yeah, they've also got traffic as well. They've been working their way through lap traffic here. So Brazier, he's looking forward. They've got Rick Fowler as the next one on the list of cars, and well, Iro Nom, he's got to work his way through. Maybe a flash of the headlights, make them aware that the leaders are coming through, but they are teammates, don't forget, so they won't want to take too many risks. And well, Rick Fowler not really getting out the way here of the leader. He's compromised his exit onto that turn, and well, this is going to be the run that Scott Brazier needs.
Yeah, but he actually pulls out of that. He broke right there, so he's not going to risk it taking it 3 wide with his teammate right here. So a little bit of a kind gesture right here. He might still have the run here, you know. He could do it on the brakes coming down into turn 1. Decides better of it right there, though. But that is what lapped traffic can do to your race ball.
Yeah, you just one little mistake or getting caught up behind the car in front at the wrong moment, and yeah, it costs you the possibility of a win. Now he's lucky that he had his teammate behind him, so I think if that was anybody else, they would have just pounced on the opportunity, made it 3 wide. It's very risky as 3 wide there as well, as we've seen in other series. I believe we saw it in the Gathering Tweakers Endurance Series as well at the start of the season. But yeah, these guys, they're fighting it out. The teammates. Is the team orders between them, or is it just a case of gloves off, let's go?
It could well be that, but I think that move would have been too risky for Scott Brazier to even attempt, as I'm hearing sounds of crashing right there, but I'm not entirely sure who it is. But yeah, it was very, very kind of Scott Brazier. As you said, anyone else in that position would have taken that opportunity to go 3 wide. I definitely would have. I don't know if you would, Paul.
I would, but that's because I'm insane. When it comes to racing, I see a gap, I go for it. Yeah, maybe not the smartest racer in the world, but never mind. You know, who ever said that a race driver was intelligent? But looking through the field here, Craig Williams, Ben Hackerson, they're still battling away. And Hackerson, is he biding his time? You know, he was last season's champion. Is he just waiting for his opportunity here? Maybe work Williams, or maybe saving a bit of fuel here. So if they do, when they do come in, get a pit stop done, he's having to take on board less fuel, jump him in the pit stops. A bit of strategy.
Yeah, that could well be the case. The Synology driver of Benjamin Hackerson, he hasn't really had the best start to the season. He crashed out of the first 2 races, didn't have, well, he had a decent race at Bathurst, and he's looking to replicate that here today at Road America. Currently running in 5th place, looking for 4th, so he's basically on a recovery drive in terms of a championship right here. Your drivers do have a couple of drop weeks to factor in during the rest of this season, so basically those 2 drop weeks are going to be used on his first 2 races.
Yeah, pretty much. As Hackerson now in that slipstream is trying to move about, as Williams trying to break it a little bit, and Hackerson not quite close enough, of course. Both Mercedes as AMG Mercedes, so it's really going to be a battle of wits and of ability to go through this turn 3 now. It's a hard braking second gear, get it on the apex, about 70-75 miles an hour on the apex, use as much of the curbing on the left there, down the back straight through turn 4, that little kink just before you go through the bridge, and now heading downhill. It's downhill all the way, and then it steepens right into the braking area, so you have to brake a little bit earlier than you would expect to normally into turn 5, and now you go back uphill here in towards turn 6, the corner that just always seems to understeer more than you expect underneath that Corvette bridge.
It does, and it's a very blind entry as well. As I said before, you don't really see the apex of the corner until pretty much the last minute, which requires a lot of faith that the apex hasn't moved last time you saw it, but you know, corners can't move, so that isn't really a problem. But yeah, this battle between Craig A. Williams and Benjamin Hackerson still very, very close to this stage. We have some battling further down the field, though. There goes Simon Jackson down the inside of Ryan D. Walker at turn 5. You'll have that pass complete right there. as he goes up into turn 6. There's also Alan McCain in that number 10 Mercedes in that Synology, it's not Seagate, sorry, a little bit of team confusion there. In that Seagate AMG Mercedes, he's also looking for scraps of this fight.
Yeah, he certainly is, and well, Ryan Walker was a little bit compromised out of 5 in towards 6. Oh, the car in front was Jackson just running a little bit wide at 6 there. A little bit of a half mistake, and well, through the carousel they go now. And it's interesting, 2 German brands here of Mercedes and the BMW in that Mercedes sandwich. So the BMW is known more of a handling car and not really got the top end speed. So really it's going to be all about Walker using that slipstream, maybe going on the brakes a little bit later into Canada corner. He's going to look to the inside, but he's not quite close enough to make that move stick. Maybe try and force the error, which he has done. And well, Simon Jackson runs wide at Canada corner, and Ryan Walker says, thank you very much, I'll take the place back. But of course he's now in the unfortunate position of giving a draft to the cars behind.
Yes, he is, and that was a classic example, as you said, of just forcing the error. Simon, there was absolutely no contact right there. There was an absolute country mile between the two cars, but he just scared Simon Jackson into a mistake, pushing wide at Canada corner, running into the gravel, and eventually giving that place up. But look at the top speed of that AMG Mercedes. He might have a look coming down into turn 1. No, he does not. He does not go for it. He has to back out. Maybe his next opportunity now to get back at Ryan D. Walker is coming down into the braking zone of turn 5. But first he has to negotiate turn 3, get a fantastic exit out of here, and then he can perhaps make that pass coming down into turn 5. But Ryan D. Walker does get the better exit. Simon Jackson will have the slipstream. Alan McCain is just behind this, just watching and waiting, and has a little bit of front end damage to that car, so that may be compromising his top speed a little bit. Simon Jackson closing up, but not close enough yet.
Nah, he didn't get the run out that final corner, and that compromised him down the straight. So Ryan Walker doing a good job holding on to that 18th place. Yeah, 18th place, and well, another little close battle that's on track as well further up your field. JPW Ringwood is in 8th place. Tony Baird has gapped them out, and Dion Phillips is right all over the back of him as they go through the kink.
Yeah, this trio has become a duo in the form of JPW Ringwood and Dion Phillips as they come into the braking zone of Canada corner right there. That braking zone can be a little bit tricky. Oh, there goes JPW Ringwood running wide. This gives Dion Phillips the opportunity coming down on the inside of Bill Mitchell-Benn, but JPW Ringwood cuts him off a little bit. I don't think Dion Phillips was entitled to the corner right there. He didn't have his car alongside, but that was a very close call right there.
Yeah, as much as he got the run there, he needed to just tuck in behind and really put the pressure on, and making that little mistake through Bill Mitchell-Benn has meant that the car in front of Ringwood can really just gap out a little bit in towards turn 14 so he can get the less pressure down that front straightaway, down Road America Straight, of course, and into turn 1. So Ringwood feeling the pressure though from that Audi behind. Dion Phillips really piling the pressure on as we're heading towards the halfway point this race.
Yeah, and you can tell that is happening because we have our first pretty much front runner hitter right now, at least inside of the top 20. There's John D. Cook in that number 52 car. He is just heading his way down pit road. He will not be taking tires. It will just be fuel. The race is a little bit too short to be taking tires here in your GT3 cars, as John Cook is off and away. The first of your front runners to pit.
Yeah, just under 18 seconds for the pit stops. That's a good indicator to see how long a pit stop you can expect from some of these drivers. Now, of course, people who've been stuck up in a draft behind the car in front will, as we've been saying earlier, be able to just put in a little bit less fuel. Of course, you're going to be using less fuel because you're in that draft, you're in the turbulent air, which means that you've not got the wind resistance against the car. Therefore, you don't have to cut that hole through the air, which means it's more efficient for your car to go through, which means that you use less fuel. And that was a lot of words, but it made sense in my head, that's for sure. But still, you know, I'm interested to see how the front runners get on. I mean, you look at the leader, he's only 0.2 of a second ahead. He's caught up behind traffic as Zero Norm. Again, it's his teammate who's right up behind, but you're not really going to see the move done as, well, Scott Brazier using the slipstream of the lap traffic to try and just get a little bit of a run here as they go across the line. We're already on the start of lap 14 now.
Yeah, I don't think Scott Brazier will force the issue too much on his teammate right here. We saw that when he didn't go take the obvious 3-wide opportunity just a couple of laps ago, where he had an absolutely massive run, decided not to take it. A little bit too risky this early on in the race, especially with his teammate. Of course, these Bushman guys, they don't have to worry about the team's championship. They're not in it. They're both privateer drivers, so the team's championship does not count for them. But Scott Brazier, if he's brave, he might make an opportunity coming down into 10.5, but no, he just backs out of it. So, is he saving fuel, or is he just not forcing the issue? That's the question.
Well, I mean, actually, he's forcing the issue. There he is, Hero Nom. But again, he's getting on the brakes early, and he's letting Hero go through. To be honest, if I was Hero right now, I'd be rubbing my hands with glee, because I've got this guy beat. You know, I can just take it easy, and the guy's not going to make a move by the looks of things. You know, whether they're talking about it in their own sort of little chat there and just trying to organise things, make it look good for the TV, I don't know. But Hero Nom, he's not had any pressure at all. He's had the car there all along from Scott Brazier, but it's just as if there's team orders here, and Scott's being told, no, hang back, Hero's going for the title.
That could well be the case, because Hero Nom basically had a 1.5 second gap at one point in the race, just a couple of laps after the start, and now that gap has closed out to under half a second. Scott Brazier has the fastest lap last time by and the fastest lap of the race, so Scott Brazier definitely is the faster car right now, but are they going to pull an Alonso is faster than you or not?
Well, I mean, you look at the laps that they've been putting in. Their fastest lap at 2:05.8, 2:05.7 for the front two. The next fastest lap out of your top five is Ben Hackson with a 2:06.8, a second slower than their fastest lap. So that tells you the dominance that these two have out there at the front. Oh, Dion Phillips missed his braking point going into Canada corner. Naylor went into the back of JPW Ringwood, but able to avoid him and carry on as they were, but he's dropped back a little bit. Craig Williams onto pit road, our fourth place driver now.
Yeah, that's the highest placed driver that has come down pit road so far, so the pit window is well and truly open. There are a couple of other cars down on pit road, and that is Jason Withrow in at number 60. He has come down pit road. Also Bart Daleman in number 31. He's also just coming off of pit road right here as well. So, but most of your front-running drivers still have yet to pit. They're just stretching that fuel tank out, try and save a little bit of fuel as well to try and put less fuel in at the pit stop, which could be the case between gaining the difference between gaining position and not.
Well, remember that pit stop from John Cook earlier, 17.9 seconds. How long will this one of Craig Williams be? He sets off 15.9, so 2 seconds quicker because he's putting less fuel in to get him to the end of the race. So good pit stop from Craig as he slots back in front of a back marker. So nice bit of clean track ahead of him as well. He can get his head down, put in a few fast laps here. And well, Ben Hackerson, he's got to try and put in some fast laps now to try and just edge him out, but well behind. Barry Baird has got a lap traffic between him and Hackerson, but Barry Baird's been closing up that gap to Hackerson these last few laps. So that last lap, 0.3 of a second slower than Hackerson.
Yeah, indeed. There's some of your mid-runners are currently just coming off of pit road. Alan McCain coming off pit road. Simon Jackson and Andrew Torbert, they're currently on pit road as well. So your mid-pack runners currently thinking, okay, this is a good time to pit, but your front runners are staying out for the time being, as Barry Baird, he's trying to chase down that car of Benjamin Hackson in that Synology AMG Mercedes. As we have the leader pitting, Hero Nom, pit road.
Yep, this is it. So we've got 28 minutes of this race left, so just over halfway he's got to the end. And I tell you what, if you're Scott Brazier now, get the foot down, get the hammer down, get the pedal all the way into the Axminster and really push it on to try and just jump the leader there as, well, Hero Nom having to go all the way to the end of the pit lane. It seems such an agonising long time when you're coming down pit road. He hits his marks. Does he hit the marks perfectly? Yes, he does. And, well, he'll take on his fuel, but it's a short trip out the pit lane here for him now, because he is, of course, right at the end of that pit lane. His fuel going on board right now. Hero Nom waiting patiently for that Ford GT3 to refuel, and it's going to be a slower pit stop, and he's still in. Yeah, 19.3 seconds. So, well, Craig Williams, who saw with a 15.9 second pit stop, and Nom comes out just ahead of Mike Mason. He's got a little bit of clear track in front of him, but 19.3. What's Scott Brazier going to do? He's stuck in traffic as Brazier. There's cars going off in front of him as well. Almost cutting in front of him. Brazier's in the worst possible position. Rick Fowler it was who lost control down at turn 8. And well, Brazier, he must have had his heart in his mouth there because they were going almost 3 wide into 8.
Yeah, there was also that little bit of extra contact to the front end of Phil Bedford as well, as he ran into Rick Fowler, who's having his own issues coming down onto the braking zone. He just caught the grass a little bit right there, just spun right in front of your relative race leader right now in Scott Brazier, and he's getting all sorts of held up right there. So Aeronom with the bad pit stop, Scott Brazier dealing with traffic. I don't know who's going to come out ahead of this one now.
I tell you what, I think Aeronom actually timed that to perfection. He must have had somebody spotting for him and saying, you've got a big pack of traffic coming up. Bring it into pit road now. You won't get caught up in it. And well, is Brazier going to head towards pit road? Yes, he is the answer. He's going to head up that steep hill. You can brake really late up there into pit road. Don't brake too late or else you will get done for speeding. Of course, pit lane speed limit here is 45 miles an hour as he goes along that long pit lane. Once again, Brazier looking for his man, looking for the pit board, seeing where his marks are. And then he will take on that fuel as there's a car pulling out of pit road at the same time as he's coming in as well. So he's just going to bob in to his pit lane now. He's going to now slow that car down, the number 50 car, into his pit box. No mistakes, hit the marks perfectly. The fuel will be going in now, and he's just waiting patiently. Where is Aaron Nom? Nom's just coming out of the final corner now, so it's going to be pretty close as this one. And if Brazier can get away soon, it's a slow pit stop again. And well, he's going to be in for over 20 seconds. He is in pit lane, and Aaron Nom is just coming down past pit exit now. Oh, Brazier doesn't cut across his teammate. So it's Aaron Nom who is effectively back into the lead of this race.
And that is pretty much the exact same gap as we had just before the pit stop. So absolutely nothing has changed right there. But that was a interesting battle coming off pit road. Scott Brazier deciding not to cut across his teammate. I think Aaron Nom is feeling a little thankful for his teammate being so nice right now.
Yeah, it's certainly working in his favour. And well, it's certainly been very favourable, shall we say, for him from his team.
Not wide. Oh, yeah. He pushed his wide right there, coming down into turn 5, but manages to recover it, manages to keep it pointed in the right direction. But Scott Brazier is all over the back of his team right here, but I think it's become blindingly obvious that they won't be fighting too much. We'll see if that changes though coming into the latter stages of the race. Does Scott Brazier just really want this race win and doesn't, care for team orders? We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Currently though, it is Craig Parks and Benjamin Hackerson. They have not pitted yet, as Hackerson was just dealing with a little bit of lap traffic right there, just coming down into Canada corner. That's going to impede him just a little bit. Craig Parks though in that 2 car, is he going to come down pit road or not? Yes, he will. Bringing that TMS Motorsport Mercedes down pit road, manages to get it slowed down well before the yellow cones right there. I think he could have been a little bit braver right there. As Barry Baird is also coming down pit road. Is Tony Baird coming down pit road? Hackerson has stayed out though. I wonder if he can actually manage to make his fuel tank last that long. It would be pretty surprising. He's gone a little bit further than most of your other drivers in your race so far. Tony Baird down pit road, JP Johnny Ringwood down pit road, Will Bamber, Adam Shipstone, Gareth Masham, also all on pit road. So pit road is very busy right now, Paul.
Yeah, basically all the drivers who hadn't pitted, there was about 10 drivers at the start of that lap who hadn't pitted yet. They're all heading onto pit road, except for Ben Hackerson, so maybe that's sitting behind for a little bit. He's been able to eke out his fuel, a little bit of lifting and coasting. Of course, you can save a lot of fuel by using the aerodynamics of the car to brake the car into corners before you hit those brakes. You use less fuel doing that. Anthony Marsh as well, the last of the guys who hasn't pitted. So Ben Hackerson, the only one yet to pit in this race, and he's about to hit 22.5 minutes remaining in this one, and he could maybe jump one car possibly with this pit stop phase, but it's dependent on traffic and dependent on how good they go through there. Scott Brazier, he's side by side and he's going through on Aaron Nom.
Oh my word, that is Scott Brazier actually going through on Ironam. I wouldn't have thought he would have done that. He was being very, very passive, very, very kind to his teammate, but now he has actually taken the position off of Ironam. This is for the effective lead right here. There's a couple of cars, well, one car that hasn't pitted, that is of a Benjamin Hackerson. So, not the lead right now, but that was basically for the lead. Scott Brazier through on Ironam. Now, will he give the place back? I doubt it if he's going to go do a brave move like that. Or is he just going to eke out that gap and just go for this race win and and not really caring about Ironam's championship?
Well, to be honest, Ironam is in a strong position, though. I mean, look at the competitors he's up against in the championship, and you look at their races. You know, you've got Barry Baird. Well, he's down in 6th place at the moment. Underhill, well, he had a disaster on the first lap. He's down in 43rd, and well, also Tony Baird, 7th place. So those guys that are in and around him in that championship battle, they're all behind, so he can afford to maybe let Scott Brazier go ahead, as Ben Hackerson is finally hit pit road now. He's making that pit stop for him. So last season's champion, well, let's see where he'll come out in all of this one. But yeah, Scott Brazier then into the lead of this one, ahead of Ironam in 2nd.
Yes, indeed he is, and we'll just have to keep an eye on that one if Scott Brazier actually does pull out that gap. But as you say, there's a pretty comfortable buffer between Ironam and the rest of his championship contenders, so it doesn't really matter all that much in the grand scheme of things, but it could, at the end of the season, or if something goes wrong with Ironam, it could come down to those couple of points at the end of the season, and he's basically just giving them away here.
I tell you what, Craig Williams and Craig Parks have got the jump on Ben Hackerson in that pit stop phase, so traffic not working in Hackerson's favour. He maybe pushed it as far as he could in terms of fuel, but traffic during the race is a killer sometimes, and he's lost 2 positions effectively over that pit stop phase. So yeah, Williams and Parks now up into 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, I think that was basically because of traffic they encountered during his extra laps. He stayed out, so that has put him behind those drivers. Gareth Mesham down pit road again. That's his 2nd stop right here. So maybe a little bit of a actually, it wasn't a mistake on the fuel because he pitted a little bit too early because of damage. He has to come down pit road yet again to put enough fuel in for the end of the race. As you see, Craig A. Williams just getting, that was getting past a lap car just going wide there of the number 24 of Dave White coming into the carousel. He's stuck on the inside of the carousel right here, which is going to compromise a couple of the car's entries right behind. That was the battle between Craig Parks and Benjamin Hagson just going through on him. Dave White's now going to get out of the way of Paul Wormsley. Actually, is that for the position? That is for the position. Paul Wormsley through on his replace space teammate right there. So, but looking back towards this fight ahead of them though, Craig Parks and Benjamin Hagson basically has to do all of his work again.
Yeah, he certainly does, and the thing is, he's running out of time here now. 19 minutes of this race remaining, and well, they're going to be starting lap 20 on the next lap, and really, Hackerson, he's running out of those opportunities. You're talking just over a 2-minute lap around here, so you've got 20 minutes, so you call it 10 laps remaining in this one. Not the most opportunities, but I tell you what, he's in the slipstream now. If he can get himself close enough into turn 1 to then start putting the pressure as they're heading towards turn 3, get the good run out of 3, use the extra strict slipstream down that straight, you can maybe make a move down into 5. That's how you've got to think around this track. You don't make that move into turn 1, you set yourself up through turn 1 to get close enough to the car in front through turn 3, and then use that slipstream down the back straight down towards turn 5, get late on the braking, get the position that way. It's a long game, but it certainly works out. It's one for the people who think about their overtakes rather than just taking the opportunity.
It definitely is. And how about we go on board with Benjamin Hagson in the 001 Synology AMG Mercedes for RaceSpotTV fan immersion. Benjamin Hackson trying to hunt down his man in Craig Parks in that 002 Mercedes ahead of him, but he hasn't been able to find the gap just yet. That's not where he has been trying though for that gap, but it just hasn't appeared for him as Craig Parks runs a little bit wide, just kicks up the little bit of the dirt on the fringes of the track right there as I head down into turn 8. Benjamin Hackson, he's basically just had to use the slipstream here. They seem pretty equal in the corners, and they're both equal in terms of car, so the straight line speed advantage of the Mercedes won't matter because they both have the straight line speed. But as they come through the carousel, Benjamin Hackson has to get exit up here, and then he may be able to try coming down into Canada corner, but Craig Parks does get better exit though.
Yeah, he's not really in the position to make that move unless he forces the mistake on Parks in front, and Parks is doing a fantastic job at the moment of not making those mistakes. That's the commentator's curse right there, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm sure he'll make a mistake in the next lap or so. But yeah, through Canada corner go. Parks just nicely getting the power on the exit there, letting the car just slightly slide there. We're running out of time now. We're into the last quarter of the race, and well, it is still Parks ahead of Hackson. It's ahead through turn 14. Get on the power. Just use every inch of that road, kick up a tiny amount of dirt, and well, Parks has got the fortunate thing of having Craig Williams in front of him within the slipstream distance, so really Hackson hasn't got the speed advantage because of that slipstream. And well, looking at the top speeds, and well, it's Parks and Hackson dead neck and neck on that top speed down the straight.
Yep, the Craig A. Williams right there is definitely helping Craig Parks. Perhaps inadvertently, they're not part of the same team. Of course, Craig Parks is actually part of TMS Motorsport, Craig A. Williams, Bushfink Racing, Benjamin Hackson, part of Synology. So this could be important for the Teams Championship as well. Benjamin Hackson, again, he has basically a little bit of a double draft here, but it's not enough to get right back to the back of Craig Parks. Now I have a question for you, Paul. Does the commentator's curse work the other way to try and cancel it out?
Well, possibly. We've had a car go off at turn 7. Right in front of your leaders. It was Matt Owen who lost the back end, kept out the wall. There was a car in front of those who had lost control as well and gone into the wall at turn 8, sorry, yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you what, Iranom, he almost made a move down in towards turn 5 on his teammate, and Brazier really running it wide through the kink there. So Brazier having to get the hurry up here. These two trying hard, fighting it out for the win, but Nom is not giving up on this one yet. But yeah, that curse of the commentator, I don't really think it works in opposites. It always works in the negative. Just ask Will Vincent.
It also works in a different way in that I think during the New Endurance series we went on board with a couple of different drivers. They all had an incident while we were on board with them. So it's occurred in a different way the fan immersion could be, but it wasn't for Benjamin Hackson. Right there was just some battling going on between, just outside the top 10, between Ben Warren, Mike Mason, Adam A. Atherton. Mike Mason managing to get through on Adam A. Atherton right there, and now Mike Mason is looking to get around to the back of Ben Warren.
Yeah, it's Mason. He's got a little bit of scuff marks down the side of his car, down the passenger side of that car, that right-hand side. So he's been in the wars, but there's scuff marks on both sides of the car. So he's been in the wars. As this one is Mike, and that Grip TV car as they head down towards Canada corner once again, using the slipstream. Of course, Adam Atherton behind as well. He was the one who pitted the earliest out of these three. Mason is the one who pitted the latest out of these three, so he had to use less fuel, or put in less fuel, should I say, at the pit stop phase, and through the final turn we go. Ben Warren using Mason that Mercedes grunt. Yeah, Mason does have a run. He was flashing the headlights. Well, no, that's the international signal of move over now. I'm coming through.
Yeah, flashing the lights wildly as Mike Mason will pull to the driver's right-hand side of the track. You'll have the inside line coming down into turn 1. You just saw a little bit of gaining back for Ben Warren right there. The straight line speed of the Mercedes just helping him a little bit there, but not enough to help him. Mike Mason is through on Ben Warren, and now Warren has to look in his rear view mirror. There is the Audi of Adam A. Atherton. and he could have a good opportunity coming down into turn 5, but Ben Warren will have the benefit of the draft of the Audi in front of him of Mike Mason. In fact, he may be able to make a move here if he's brave on the brakes, but no, he lifts out of it, and so does Adam A. Atherton, so your driver's being very considerate right now.
Yeah, they're realising they're making it towards the final 10 minutes of this race. Oh, Mike Mason kicking the back end around on the exit of turn 5 there, and real heart and mouth moment that one there as they go through 6 now, and Mason, he'll put a bit of excess heat into those rear tyres now, so his rear tyres won't be feeling that great. He needs to just run a little bit calmer on these next few corners and maybe the rest of this lap just to get the tyre temperature back down a little bit. You see the back end just twitch around again then on the turn 8 there, so Mason, as I say, putting that heat into the surface of those tyres, it really affects the grip of those tyres. It's Hackerson now. Look at Hackerson right up in the draft of Craig Parks for 4th place.
Yeah, he's very, very close indeed, but I don't think he'll have a luck coming down into turn 1. He could if he's brave, but he's not going to do it as he just follows in single file right behind Craig Parks. Craig A. Williams, though, just ahead of these two, is just pulling away just a little bit, and that means Craig Parks, just by bit by bit, is losing a little bit of the draft. There goes Benjamin Haxton very deep on the brakes. That's going to compromise his exit just a little bit, and he'll get it back though because of the draft, but I do not think he will be close enough. There's a battle going on for 10th place. That is 3Y coming down into turn 1. That is for number 43, Dion Phillips, Neil Bamber in the 5, and JP W. Ringwood in the 54. I hope we can get a replay of that one. I just caught the back end of it, but almost 3Y coming down into turn 1. That's very close stuff.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact as well between Bamber and Ringwood as well. So Ringwood and Bamber, it tells you how close those guys were getting as they head down towards turn 5. We're looking at the replay there as they went along through the Sanford Straight. And, well, I'm just looking now in towards turn 5, and Bamber forcing Dion Phillips wide, and Ringwood is going to take his opportunity to look down the inside into 6 underneath that Corvette bridge. It's on the real one line through there, and Ringwood just snaps it in front, says thank you very much, at least I'll be back to 9th place now.
Yeah, fantastic battling just inside your top 10 right here. That is Neil Bamber currently 8th place, JP Ringwood with 9th, and Dion Phillips in the 10th position right there as they're going to come through the carousel. As we actually have Craig Parks and Craig A. Williams. They are currently having a little bit of a fight just coming out of Canada corner right there, and I believe that was Craig Parks. He is passed.
Yeah, he's finally made it past Craig Williams, and Williams had a second gap going across the line. Not anymore, they've switched positions, and Parks now maybe looking after his tyres through this race and is able to get the position. But look at this now, Williams in the draft using that slipstream. He's got Benjamin Hackerson right behind as well. These 3 cars have not been able to be split all the way through this race. Down in towards turn 1, they've got lap traffic ahead. That lap traffic is going to get in the way mid-corner of Craig Parks. He now moves over to the right, but Parks compromised through turn 1.
Yep, and that lap traffic of Moorherman is just going to get clean out of the way well before turn 3, letting your drivers have the best entry that they can get coming down into turn 3. Now Craig A. Williams has an opportunity, maybe back on Craig Parks coming down into turn 5, but no, he just lifts out of it. Just prefers to coast right behind him. He's not going to go for the gap. Will Benjamin Hackerson go for the gap? He was thinking about it.
Yeah, he has his eyes on that 4th place, and as I say, they've been battling it out all the race along of Hackerson and Williams now just seems to maybe not quite have the pace through the a little bit more of the twistier section of this track. As I say, maybe he's used up his tyres a little bit more than the car in front of Parks and the car behind Hackerson, and that's it. When you're heading into the final few minutes of this race, it's not just about who looks after the fuel, it's about who looks after the tyres as well. As John Cook, who was the first one who came into pit road of the normal pit stops, he's on pit lane. It looks like he's having to get a splash and dash here towards the end of this race, but these 3 still battling it out for the final step of the podium. And well, just looking at the leaders, Ira Nom's had a couple of tardy laps these last few laps, and the gap now is 5 seconds between the 2 leaders. So Nom not really putting the pressure on now. He's got a 22-second gap between him and Craig Parks, who's in 3rd. So not really having to work hard for that second place.
No, yeah, that is an absolutely huge buffer that Aeronom has to Craig Parks and the rest of this group right here, so he doesn't really have to worry. As we see a car that has spun off at the side of the track right there, that is Rick Fowler. He has had an absolutely horrible evening here at Road America. He's just parked right beside the track, just coming out of the final corner. Actually, he did that quite a while ago, and he's just left it there. Just going to be yellow flags in that sector for definite for that car stranded on the side of the track. But this battle before the final podium places, it is still hot as ever. Benjamin Haxon, again, he's just trying to find a gap somewhere as Benjamin Haxon gets it into a power slide Tokyo Drift style. He gets it a little bit wrong on the exit. Look at that gap just extend right now, and that could be his race right there. He could not get those positions ahead of him. He's going to have to resign due just to take 5th place right here, unless the 2 cars ahead of him start fighting. As actually he's closed up the gap a little bit on the brakes there, so maybe we shouldn't count him out just yet. Can Craig A. Williams get past Craig Parks in the latter stages of this race? Just a couple of laps to go right now. Who's it going to be?
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys have provided some excellent competition. Gareth Measham has gone around into the entry of turn 14. He's up against the wall as well. He did it all on his own through Bill Mitchell Bend, lost control of the car, back end into the wall on the exit, on the entrance to turn 14. There was another car that lost it in sympathy as well. It was Paul Martin. So 2 cars, 2 Audis struggling towards the end of this race through Bill Mitchell Bend, and in fact Measham is onto pit road now. But that battle for 3rd place still ongoing. Craig Williams trying his best to get past, but he's not able to make that move stick so far as they head through Canada Corner.
Yeah, Craig A. Williams currently quickly running out of time. Benjamin Hagerson running out of time as well. If any of these 2 drivers want to improve their positions, they have to do it now. And, well, Craig A. Williams has the best opportunity to improve his position right here. He'll have the benefit of the draft coming up the hill of the pit straight. Just closing in. There's some lap traffic ahead of these guys. Jan Miltzer, Matt A. Owen. They may cause a little bit of an issue for these guys. There goes Craig A. Williams. He has a little bit of a look on the inside, and look who's back. That is Benjamin Haxon back onto the back of these 2. And, well, what can he do right now? He's closed up that gap, and maybe he'll have an opportunity coming down into turn 3. Important to get a good exit here, as we've stressed over the course of this race. Craig A. Williams very, very close. Will Williams have a chance coming down into turn 5? This will be one of his best chances of the rest of this race if he does, but no, he's just going to lift out and just coast behind him. Here comes Benjamin Haxon. He has a little bit of a look as well. There goes Craig A. Williams wide, and Benjamin Haxon has the opportunity on the inside. They're going to take it side by side coming up the hill into turn 6. Benjamin Haxon will gain the position. Is it the cutback for Craig Williams? He's going to try it coming down into turn 7 here, and Craig A. Williams just trying to find a gap, trying to find that position back, but he's not going to get it. Benjamin Haxon currently in front, but this isn't over, Paul.
It's certainly not over indeed. Those guys are battling it out. Also the 2 Bears are battling it out as well. They're getting pretty close as we're heading towards the final 2 minutes. We're heading towards a 2-minute warning in this one. And, well, I think we're going to maybe get just one more lap in this race. The leader is coming through the final turn now. So as long as he doesn't go across the line with more than 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go, we will be starting that last lap. In fact, we will be starting the last lap here, because that clock ticks down and he goes across the line now. 2 minutes 2 left in this one, so this will be the last lap as Hackers through. Big instant for Parks. He's in the wall.
Oh no, that was trouble with the lap traffic we were talking about. That was Jan Miltzer. A little bit of confusion coming down into the braking zone, and Craig Parks went towards the right-hand side, driver's right-hand side of the track. Jan Miltzer went towards the right-hand side of the track. A little bit of confusion ensued right there. Massive incident in that Canada corner. Craig Parks, race is done.
Yeah, it's a massive disappointment for him. Craig Parks is he's having to park it, is he? No, he's still moving. We've got cars crabbing all over the place, cars all over the grass, and well, the two birds are battling it out as well. They're going side by side. Three wide down the pit straight. Absolutely fantastic racing between these cars as they go across. And well, Tony Baird finds himself just up into 5th place ahead of his brother. But well, the leaders, they're heading in towards the carousel shortly, so they're about halfway around the lap here. But what excitement at the end of this race. Hackerson's though, he's still under pressure himself, but look at this now. Tony Baird, Barry Baird and Craig Parks.
Yeah, this is the fight for the final lap of this race. White flag is out on the track right now. Scott Brazier is just coming through the carousel, so he has basically half a lap to complete this race and take the race win. Barry Baird looking maybe towards the inside of turn 5 right there. He has to be wary of Craig Parks right behind him, but Parks, after heavy contact with the wall, it doesn't actually look like there's too much damage on the front of that AMG Mercedes as Tony Baird goes wide, and Barry Baird is going to go down the inside. He forces his man off the track. Tony Baird has to run wide, and the twin brothers, they clash right there on the final lap of the motor race. Now, can Craig Parks get past? He's going to have to do it in the carousel. Scott Brazier is going to come through the final corner, and Scott Brazier will power up the hill. Lap traffic ahead of him won't count, as Scott Brazier will take the race win for this round at Road America of the Synology GT3 Championship. Now, back to that battle between Craig A. Williams, Benjamin Hackerson. That is still relatively close. Craig Parks and Barry Baird, that is still relatively close as well, as they're coming down into the Canada corner right here. Craig Parks, he's only got a couple of corners left to try and get that position, but Benjamin Hackerson will get 3rd place right here from Craig A. Williams. Now Barry Baird and Craig Parks, again, that gap is a little bit too stretched out for Parks to have an opportunity. He has to hope that Barry Baird gets a horrible exit right here, but he doesn't, and Barry Baird will take 5th place right here. Craig Parks throwing away a couple of positions, but still ends up in 6th there.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic end to the race there, and well, these drivers providing absolutely fantastic entertainment for us to watch there. And well, as we saw, it was Barry Baird who finished in 5th. Actually, Craig Parks just showing his 6th place ahead of Tony Baird, so at least Parks made it up one position at the end there as they went across the line. But well, it's the final few
there's going to be a fight here. 48 and the 38, they're going to be very, very close. They're going to go side by side across the finish line. Who's it going to be? Mike Mason or Ben Warren? I think Ben Warren may have got that. Yeah. Yes, he did. So very close at the line right there for 13th place. That was as close as you liked, especially with a car that pretty much stopped on the left-hand side of the track. 26 thousandths of a second was the gap there. We've got another relatively close battle. Ryan Walker 17th, Simon Jackson 18th, coming out the final corner up the hill. Ryan Walker's got the position at the moment. They go across the line. Simon Jackson tries to pull out alongside, does not get that position though. Those two going across the line in 17th and 18th place. Few others of the drivers going through, and well, it's a long lap here, and quite a few drivers still trying to make it through. John Roberts and Phil Bedford have been battling it out all the way through these final few laps. I do believe that they're the last ones on the lead lap, and John Roberts just gets him at the end there ahead of Phil Bedford, so they changed position on that final lap. Yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic race here in the Synology GT3 series, as we see Scott Brazier number 50 and Craig A. Williams in 42 having their, well, Scott Brazier just basically pushing Craig A. Williams there. Both the Bushfink teammates just having a little bit of fun right there, but we will go over the results right now. Scott Brazier will take the win here at Road America from Iru Nom, and Benjamin Hackerson, after a terrible start to the season, finally gets a podium position. Craig A. Williams will finish up 4th ahead of Barry Baird. Craig Parks down a couple of positions from where he was just a couple of laps before the end. He will line up, well, he will finish in 6th place. Tony Baird will finish 7th, Neil Bamber 8th, Dion Phillips 9th, JP Jumbley Ringwood finishing in the last spot in the top 10. Adam Shipstone, Adamir Atherton, Ben Warren, Mike Mason, that's down to 14th place. Alan McCain, 15th. Roel Huben, 16th. Ryan D. Walker in 17th place. Simon Jackson, 18th. Ben Coombs, 19th. Anthony Marsh finishes in the 20th position, and these are the positions a little bit down your field right now. Lee Bunker, 21st. Bram Rainier is 22nd. Andrew Talbot, 23rd. John M. Roberts, 24th. And Phil Bedford is the last car finishing on the lead lap. The rest of those positions of 1 lap down and more are on your screen right now. But after those are done, we'll have to just step aside just for a second, and it's the Post Race Show next. Well, this is the post-race interviews show after a fantastic race here in the Synology GT3 Championship at Road America for what is round 4 of your championship. Now we have a couple of drivers going to come in for interviews right here. First up, it's going to be the driver of Dave White right here. Dave White qualified 49th, ended up gaining a couple of positions up till 37th, but still 1 lap down. How was it, Dave? As I think Dave is having a couple of issues with his mic here, so we will not actually again interview with Dave right here. So, oh, there he is. There's some life.
Yeah, hi guys, right?
There we go. All right, do you hear my questions?
No, just missed it.
Okay. So you finished 1 lap down, but how was the race out there?
For me, absolutely brilliant. Qualified so-so, then moved up with the incident, and then just thought, let's see how everyone else plays out and go from there and see where it end up at the end of the race.
Yes, indeed. And is Road America a track you enjoy to race?
It's one I know better from last year, so I was a bit more comfortable than I was at Bathurst.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, that'll just be that for this interview there, Dave. But next driver we're going to have is going to be the driver of Eru Nom. Now, Eru, again, it's the second race in a row that you haven't won. Was there team orders between you and Scott Brazier?
No, I think my tires just didn't work at that time.
Yeah, because he did pull out a decent gap earlier on in the race, around about 1.5 seconds at some point during lap 2 or 3. But Scott managed to reel that back in, get right back onto your rear bumper. There was one opportunity that he had the massive run and was able to take it 3 wide, but didn't. I'm guessing you're very thankful for a kind teammate.
Yeah, I think early on I had very good lead. The lap car kind of got in the way, so Scott was able to draft me and save tires and save fuel.
Yes, indeed. And a couple of drivers, but you had particular issues. Craig Parks had a little bit of an incident on the final few laps right there. But looking ahead to, I believe it's Sebring, and that's can be very a technical track at times, and also very, very bumpy. It's also going to be a night race as well. It's the second one in this series after the night race at Daytona. Are you going to enjoy that one?
Yeah, I think I will. I will do my best.
That's all we can ask for, and that was the driver of Iru Nom coming home in second place right now. He is still your championship leader, but we're going to have, I believe, the driver of Ben Hackerson right here. That was a good result, Ben, after a pretty dismal start to the season.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the podium, to be fair. Consistency is my goal now after the bad start. I just need to get some points on the board, really.
Yeah, of course, you do have a couple of drop weeks in this season, and I think some of those drop weeks will definitely be used on your first couple of races. Of course, you are the champion. You were the champion in last season, and I'm guessing now you're just trying to put in those good results to maybe be close to Iru Nom come the end of the season to try and become a double champion.
Well, that's the plan, isn't it? Yeah, I can't really afford too many more drop weeks. We get 4, but it's a 30 race season, so it's going to be consistency, and I've got to start picking up a few wins. But I feel like the Ford was very strong here today. We might have a better chance in the Merc at Sebring and definitely at Zolder.
Yeah, definitely. And you were in a battle with Craig A. Williams and I believe the driver of, if I can actually find him, Craig Parks as well. Coming into those final few laps, Craig Parks had a massive off with some lapped traffic at Canada Corner. And with you just fighting with those guys, did you know how he would turn out after all of that was said and done?
Well, I predicted fireworks, but not in that way. I'm gutted to see Craig go off in that way. I think he finished 5th in the end still, so it wasn't terrible. But yeah, that was my plan. I was sitting there waiting for them to attack each other, really, and I was going to try and pick them off on the final few laps, saving my tyres for the end.
Yeah, you did have a little bit of an off coming towards the end of the race. That just dropped you back a little bit, but you did manage to catch that gap up again. So I'm guessing you were just, as you say, you were just holding back a little bit, waiting for them to fight and maybe to try and make your opportunity just to slip by somewhere when they were least expecting it. But you did a good job in doing that, and a 3rd place is definitely something you should be proud of. Now looking towards Sebring, can you get the same result there?
I'm going to aim for a podium. I don't think I'll be able to beat Aero there, or we'll see if I can beat Scott on the day. But you know, I'm not going to be that far off, as far off as I was today.
Well, there we go. A little bit of fighting talk right there from Benjamin Hackerson, if you don't mind me saying. But that was an absolutely fantastic race here at Road America, Paul, and we just got hope for more of the same come Sebring, but again, more of the same.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race there, night race around Sebring, and it's going to be tough for these drivers because there's very little lighting around there. So hitting your apexes, getting everything right around there, it's going to be very difficult for them, and certainly going to produce some fantastic racing. And well, yeah, it's certainly one that we'll look forward to seeing next week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. You should be looking forward to it as well. Next race is going to be a race in the darkness, in the Floridian darkness at Sebring. Join us for it in just a week's time. I've been Connery Maddock, that's been Paul Smith, and thank you for watching.